be like, oh, well, I don't like my kids talking about, oh, the past, how we were slaves and blah, 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 and then that's the next movie, and they're gonna.
I don't care if they did that. As long as you give me my reparations first. I don't care what you do after that. You give me my reparations.
But at the end of the day, you're not gonna get a reparation. You're not.
You can't think like that. You can't think like that. You can't think like that.
You know why? You know why? Let me tell you why. I don't want to think like that.
You too busy to be on the phone, man. You got shit going on. Where my money? Where my reparations?
Hello?
Yep.
Here's the two reasons why we're not gonna get it. Here's the two reasons why. How I see it in my mind, they're not gonna give it to us. Maybe 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, they use the welfare to cripple us, to give us free money.
Welfare.
To cripple us with welfare.
Yeah, welfare is a pacifier.
Yes, they use it to cripple us.
Yeah.
Just like what does a pacifier does to a baby when a baby
just silence it, and it ain't giving you no nourishment, no food, no sustenance. It's just there to pacify you and make you be quiet, and that's all welfare is.
That's what exactly. Once they did that, and the same people that's clapping for you, saying, "Yeah, we got this, we got your back," they're the same one behind closets who were against it. Did you know that? Did you know that the Democrats was the first who voted against the reparation?
Oh yeah.
So, and at the end of the day, and the reason why also the third reason why I feel like they don't want to give us reparations because not a lot of us are very starting to aware of what's going on and what can we do for money.
What can we do for money?
Huh?
But that's the thing, though, bro. Listen, if everybody who is eligible for reparations would receive their reparations, bro, money won't matter no more. That would give us an economic platform to build generational wealth. That's the only advantage everyone has upon us is generational wealth. They can pass shit down like we don't have shit to pass down.
But my thing is how much
delicious
would get.
Huh? I need the value of 40 acres in a mule plus interest and motherfucking inflation. So whatever at the end of the 1800s, whatever the value of 40 acres of land was, you need to scoop that up to 2020 standards and then pay me out for that shit and everybody. And now this is what I keep saying. Imagine if there's a family of 4, mother, father, and 2 kids. And all 4 people in the family are eligible for reparations. If the reparations check is $375,000 per person, then that one household, that's $375,000 times 4. You can't tell me you won't be able to build generational wealth off of that. And that's all we need. All we need is our fucking money. Give us our fucking money. Once again, I don't care what you name your syrup. I don't care who you make a statue to. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And that way, with the neighborhood you live in right now, in your beautiful community, if everybody else had that same money, then you would have an all-black community. Because I'll come in and I'll be your neighbor. I'll buy a house next to you. And then my cousin, she can buy a house down the street from us. And then my nephew, he can buy a house. And then that's how we have our own communities and build our own shit, yo.
All the shit they're doing, destroying monuments, changing syrups and all that, is to pacify.
That is there is not a change of power. Who's still in power? The corporations, when you look at the corporate boards, who sit on these boards, ain't none of that shit changing. When you look at Congress and the Senate, and none of that shit changes.
If they give you reparations, right? A lot, because what people don't understand is,
oh, we're financially illiterate as an ethnic group. We don't know money and we don't understand money. We're essentially financially illiterate as an ethnic group. So giving a bunch of money to a lot of niggas, a lot of people gonna blow that shit, but they still too many people who will use it wisely and properly.
That's my problem. Honestly, this reparation because it's not you, not me, but niggas or niggas. They're gonna buy cars, they're gonna buy stupid shit, not taking the money and build. Because another thing that.
But this is the thing too, man. At the same time, a lot of people don't have that opportunity, so you can't really say what people would do given that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? We see what we see is. Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
We also America fear another black street. They fear another Seneca Village. Nobody knows what Seneca Village was.
That's Central Park, nigga. Central Park was a fucking Seneca Village that was owned by all Africans. They tore that shit the fuck down and turned it into a fucking park, yo. Yeah, nobody don't know about Seneca Park, Seneca Place, yo.
That's what I'm talking about. You see, I was born in Haiti, and I know all this American history.
Puff.
A regular black person does not know that, and that's how much is stripping away from the history. And they just too fucking dumb, worried about defunding the police and about maple syrup and fucking Uncle Ben's on the fucking rights. Who gives a fuck?
I don't.
I know, but you start seeing where the problem is. They keep pacifying the minorities so much, and they too dumb to realize that they do, and that's the fucking problem.
And that's why I say I don't march, yo. All that marching and all that protesting, all them riots and looting and burning, and the best y'all can get out of that shit is a new name for Aunt Jemima.
You defund the police, you're happy, but your kid is at risk in the school.
I'm not with the defunding the police. Like that's, I don't know. It's just asinine.
And not only that, and that's what I told people. I'm like, you defund the police, and it's right now, yo, bro, they limit us so much. Putting hand on somebody can get us suspended. I have a kid to take care of. I got that roof over my head. You think I'm gonna risk putting my hands on losing my paycheck?
Rubison.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know right now, bro. I'm live on my YouTube channel. I'm streaming live right now, and I got your voice live, so everybody hearing you. I just ain't want you to think that being some secretive shit, but we live in the studio and everybody can hear you. But you got good points and you got good reasons, and that's why I want people to hear what you're saying too. I want people to hear this conversation we're having.
But I mean, the thing is, like my issue is that all that money, the defunding, okay, but yet again, what the hell the Black Lives Matter has contributed to the community?
All right. My man, that's the second time he called me. Then he said, we talked for a minute. He's like, oh, I gotta call you right back. He called me right back. We talked for a minute. And he's like, oh, I gotta call you right back. But he's a police officer in New York City, in Brooklyn. A black man from Haiti, not even an American. He's a Haitian American. You know, so his upbringing and the foundation of his morals and his values are slightly different than American values. You know what I'm saying? He's a upstanding man. He's a man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker did military, served in the military, got out the military, and joined the police force. And he's a good cop. I know him personally. He's a good cop. And these the guys who are taking the blunt force of all this shit. Is like, there are good cops out there. And I know people, like, it sounds weird when I say that shit, because, like, fuck the police. You know what I'm saying? I tell my man that shit too, like, fuck all your coworkers and all that shit. You cool. I don't know them. I know you. And you cool. And I know you out there trying to do the job that you took an oath for, to protect and serve. And that's all. He's a good man, and he's a damn good police officer. And this shit is getting to him, you know? He said he had to go to some meeting tomorrow about this defunding of their police department. What in the hell? Oh, that's a piece of my nose piece. Oh, I gotta change the little nose cushions out because it just like a little piece of it just crumbled off. They're getting old and brittle. I actually need to have a eye appointment and probably get a stronger prescription. I hate to keep boosting my prescriptions up, but these glasses are 4 years old. I haven't been to the what is it, the optometrist in 4 years. So I don't know. Like I said, it might be time for some new ones. My man is Buggy is like, yo, I want them to know I was a cop. I said, calm down. I love you, so they gonna love you. It's good for people to hear from a police who cares. That's all it is, bro. I just like when people hear him talk because he's a good dude. What you heard, bro? Oh, that shit ain't crazy, crazy. My man said I heard something crazy. Something crazy like what? Uh, this is why I be fucking with Agenda Free TV. Steve Lookner. China floods. Could three gorge, Three Gorges Dam collapse? Live coverage. So right now, China's having some kind of flood, and one of their major dams is at risk of collapsing.
Quality control examination. And he said the project was finished too quick.
Bro, you just knew that shit, bro? Yeah, they own that. They own you. Oh yeah. That's why I've never done that shit. And I always wanted to try it and but then like when you listen to the like real hard science, it's like, man, that shit is anywhere from 3 to 5% accurate trying to trace, especially for the African American, to try to trace their lineage back to a region, especially a tribe somewhere in Africa. It's damn near impossible. And they'll say, oh, you're from this part, and that shit is like maybe 7% accurate, 5% accurate. That shit ain't nowhere in the 90% accurate. Nothing like that. The DNA shit don't work like that. And then whatever DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, that you give them, you are your DNA. And you don't get it back. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to sample this and we'll mail you your sample back. No. They keep that little sample of you in a petri dish. They say they can do whatever with that shit, man. They can sell that shit. They can. That's how they got the one vaccine from the one lady, and she died. Damn, I forgot how that story went, yo. But the lady died, and somehow she had built antibodies to a certain kind of virus or something. And even after her death, they took her cells and made a vaccine for that shit, yo. Out of her own body. But that shit is weird, yo. Like, yeah, I wouldn't do that shit. I wouldn't do that shit, bro. I'm not giving nobody my DNA, not willingly. That's like a couple years ago. Some states started doing mouth swabs at DUI checkpoints and all that shit. You not swabbing me, bro. I don't give a fuck who you is. At that DUI checkpoint, yeah, maybe give me a breathalyzer or a sobriety test or something. You not swabbing my fucking cheek. Exactly. That's where the Seminole Indians come from, yo. The Seminoles were mostly Africans, dark Africans. Wasn't even hardly Indians. It was the runaways. You know what I'm saying? But they started mixing with the Ochoks or whatever other Blackfoot or. But anyway, that's how I say, man, that the African American is a created person. It's so weird when you look at how the Negro in America came to be. We were not self-defining at all. We were created as a group. And then motherfuckers wonder why we're so confused and disjointed and swabbing the car door. Yeah, don't swab nothing on me. I don't need no swabbing going on. Man, our Black Scranton page been so lit. Yo, we had like over 9,000 hits in just 2 days. And then we just got our new website up, got our merchandise line going. Yo, Black Scranton about to be a household name, yo. That shit gonna be a household name. All right, guys. After work stream. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, I can't believe I did that. Like, I know I wrote the date down too. Bruh, I feel kind of bad for that shit. Honestly, I don't know. I might work on this a little bit because I have some colors on there that I don't want to like. I don't want to dry out and just toss out. Because right now on this piece, I'm mostly working in the reds and burgundies, but I still have a lot of browns and yellows on that palette that are just like sitting there going to waste. So I might take this down for a minute and see if I can just use the last little bit of paints that are on that palette, just so they don't go to waste. I'm so wasteful with my fucking paints, and these shits aren't fucking cheap, yo. But I be having so much fun working on this piece, yo. This shit is like, eh. Did I not flip the camera? Now, yeah, it won't be nothing to correct that. A couple of brush strokes. That'll be that one infamous piece that goes down in history like, this piece was actually not done right by the prince. It'll be a whole conspiracy theory behind it. What were we listening to? China? China's flooding to death?
Chinese water conservancy expert has been distressed by the government on the issue of the Three Gorges. He is quoted as saying, with the Chinese language media site CT Want quoting Wang, saying there was, quote, a serious concern over cracks and substandard concrete discovered during the dam's construction. He said a failure of the dam would have catastrophic consequences for individuals residing in the lower reaches of the Yangtze River, that's the part of the river below the dam, and that they'd prepare for evacuation as soon as possible, the news site reported. So there's this one expert who was quoted recently as expressing a bunch of concern about the dam. There's another shot of the dam. Now, also, last year, there were a bunch of articles expressing concern about the dam, caused about a couple of photos that came out on social media. This is this whole other thing. And there was a debate over whether the photos were legit or not and what they meant. Let's see. In 2019, I believe it was a person on Twitter who posted Google satellite images appearing to show warping in the dam structure. Officials Chinese media said the apparent dam deformation was part of the structure's elastic seat design within permissible variation. Also, I've seen quotes from the Chinese media from last year, state media, saying that the pictures were not correct, that there was just a problem with the picture. So the idea is that these came out last year, they're posted on social media, is that the claim was that this is what the dam originally looked like, now it had been deformed. Oh, so let me read this to you, though. So before I take some more comments, though, this is what came out this is Chinese state media, and this is last week they put out an article saying Three Gorges Dam not at risk of collapse, safe for heavy rainfall. So this is very interesting to me because this appears to be them. I'm guessing they're putting out this article, the Chinese government, because people are expressing concern about it. I don't think they'd bother to put out this article in Global Times, Chinese government news, unless they were aware that people were expressing concern about this. So this is the government response from last week. Three Gorges Dam not at risk of collapse. Chinese experts, now again, this is a government newspaper. Chinese experts have dismissed rumors hyped by some Western media. So they're also blaming. See, this is another thing they do to try to undermine fears or undermine anti-government claims. Is they blame it on Western media. I'm sure there's plenty of people in China who are worried about this, who were not being, their worries were not caused by Western media. Anyways, Chinese experts, says the government, have dismissed rumors hyped by some Western media that the Three Gorges Dam, the world's biggest hydropower project, is at risk of collapse, noting the dam is intact and has spare capacity to hold the current inflows of water after southern parts of China experienced heavy rainfall and the Three Gorges Reservoir level exceeded the flood control line. Now, you might say, like, wait, so why is southern water causing the water buildup of the dam? Remember, water can flow from south to north. Water flows downhill. So if you look at the map here, from China highlights.
Yeah, south to north.
See, the
That's
dam
like
is here. You have these
Nile
areas
River.
which are south of the dam, but they're uphill from dam. So water, if water, of rain falls here and goes into the river, even though it's south of the dam, it's going to flow this way. It's going to flow downhill. So there's been a bunch of rain in southern China in areas which flow towards the dam. All right, so the article goes, let's go back here.
Brush no more.
Let's go back to the state newspaper article. They say that the government says that in the southern parts of China they've experienced heavy rainfall, and the Three Gorges Dam reservoir water level did exceed the flood control line. Since China entered the flood season in June, the government says, southern and eastern regions of the country have experienced heavy and extensive rainfall. Floods have affected more than 2 million people. All right, now this is where they talk about the water level. The water level in China's massive Three Gorges Reservoir, that's the body of water. The reservoir is this. That reservoir. It's the water building up at the dam. That's the reservoir right there. They say the water level in China's massive Three Gorges Reservoir reached 147 meters on Saturday, 2 meters above the flood warning line, which is 145 meters. Okay? And then, meanwhile, the inflow of water going towards the dam increased to 26,500 cubic meters per second from 20,500 cubic meters per second on the previous day. The alarming water level rise gave rise to rumors, says the government, that the dam is under structural strain and nearby residents should evacuate. Some Western media, they're blaming the Western media, some Western media hyped claims that the dam is at risk of collapse, which was not new in their discredit of the project. So the government's saying, the Western media, they're saying this is something the Western media often says. So here's an expert that the government quoted. This is the government's argument that the dam is not really at risk of collapse. This is the government's argument. Gao Zhan, a research fellow at the Institute of Engineering and Mechanics at China Earthquake Administration in Beijing, refuted the rumors and speculation, saying the dam is capable of holding far larger inflows than it's seeing now. So this expert, quoted by the government, says the dam is designed to meet once-in-a-millennium water level at 175 meters high, or flow of up to 70,000 cubic meters per second toward the dam. Currently, the water level is 147, and the flow is 26,500. And this expert says that's absolutely safe for the dam to bear. So that's the government's argument. I have no idea whether this is a good argument. I have no idea if that would be convincing to somebody who is like a structural engineer who really knew a lot about the dam and the water there and stuff. So I can't really assess that. That's the government's argument. They're saying, oh, the water isn't close. Yeah, the water was 2 meters above the flood emergency line, but it's not close to the maximum capacity it can hold. The flow into the river, yeah, the water's been flowing faster, flowing fast towards the dam, but it's nowhere near how fast it would need to be flowing towards the dam, how great a flow there would need to be to put the dam at risk. So the government's saying it's not at risk, no need to worry. This expert said the water is not a challenge to the reservoir. Speculation that the dam is an impending disaster have long circulated online, both home and abroad. And here, this is the government, they're addressing this, the photos issue, which we were just talking about. Last year, these photos came out on social media claiming that the dam had been deformed. Before, after, that's what the photos claimed, and claimed that showed the dam was at risk. The government talks about that right here. They say in July 2019, a satellite image of Google Maps appeared to show the Three Gorges Dam was distorted, sparking concerns that it is at the edge of breaking. The operator of the dam said in a statement that monitoring data showed the dam was in normal working condition, the project was safe and reliable. Minor deformation happens all the time, and it will not affect the dam's safety as long as it's within an elastic range, analysts explain them. So here the government doesn't deny that the pictures were accurate. They just say, oh, the deformation happens all the time, it's totally safe. So anyways, that's the government's response. That came out 8 days ago, and that's the government's response to all these concerns about the dam being at risk. They say it's just speculation and rumors. It's unfounded. The water line is not near what it would need to be at the dam to put the dam at risk. The strength of flow, the amount of water flowing towards the dam is not nearly what it need to be to put the dam at risk. The photos from last year, it's completely, they're misleading. Any kind of deformation those photos might have showed is totally normal. So that's the government's response. All right. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts. But I thought that article was interesting. That, again, came out 8 days ago. And remember, there's a lot of rain and flooding going on now, and more water is building up behind that dam. But it's not even the worst part of the flooding season on the Yangtze River. If you look here, let's see here. Hold on a second here. I want to show you this. I think it says it here, talking about when the flooding is the worst. Is it July? Summer? Yes. The Yangtze Basin, that's the area around the Yangtze River where the water flows down into the Yangtze River. Most of the precipitation is brought by the monsoon winds and falls primarily as rain in the summer months. In May, the water level decreases somewhat in the river, but then sharply increases again, continuing to rise until August, when it reaches its highest level. So usually what happens is that river that the dam sits on doesn't reach its highest level until August. It's only June 30th. It's July 1st in China, I would assume. So, and we just read it. We just read an article where the weather forecast in China is for more rain even in the next week or so, including above the dam. So that water is going to flow down towards the dam. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter. Now this is D-Man sent me this. This is a post that was a popular post from China in Focus. Again, that is an online outlet that does not like the Chinese government, but they posted this. I have it here actually. Where is it here? Sorry, once again, I have way too many things open on my desktop. Let's get this open here. Right here. So I'm not going to play this, hold on, because it's a whole video, it's 2 minutes long, from China in Focus. They say a video circulating online shows one of the world's largest dams suspected of releasing flood water without notifying regions downstream. Now, I don't know, we did see, the government did admit yesterday that that they had released extra water from the dam out of concern of water building up behind the dam. Now, I don't know if they didn't notify, I don't know if they didn't tell people downstream. I believe they didn't. Because that can be dangerous. If a dam releases water downstream, right? That's going to mean there's more water on the river flowing downstream, and that can mean more flooding in the areas past the dam. So I wonder, you know, because before they admitted it, there were people downstream of the dam who were experiencing flooding, who were wondering, who were thinking, hey, they believed that the government had done this, the government had released water, and they believed that was causing some of their flooding. So I guess maybe there was no. It's bad if they released water from the dam and didn't give any heads up to the people downstream. Anyways, there's a whole video here about this. This was it's like a 2-minute video. But again, if too much water builds up behind a dam, sometimes what they feel they need to do is release some of the water, because if too much water builds up behind the dam, that could put the dam at risk. So they did act, the government did admit releasing extra water on Monday. But you can watch that video. That's at China in Focus.
I like Steve, yo. This motherfucker is covering
Shelley
everything except Black Lives Matter.
I don't know if they did. I can't speak to that.
I like that though, because there's so many other
But I
people
believe the
covering that
government
shit.
didn't
Like,
admit it until
motherfuckers be missing out on
after
like
they did.
this type of information.
That would make me guess they didn't warn people.
Dang, I gotta take a piss already. Let me go to the bathroom real quick.
Stanley Jet says, is it still raining upstream? I don't know what it is right this second, but one of the articles we read said that there was rain predicted, forecast for upstream for the next few days. Now, K.R. Kickhopper sent me this article. I had read this before, but this talks, it's a How Stuff Works talking about risks from the dam, but most of these have nothing to do with the the dam collapsing. So I don't really want to get into this now. The dam itself is a controversial project because, for example, when they built the dam, the water builds up behind the dam. So there were lots and lots of people, I believe millions of people, at least over 1 million people, had to be moved. Because when you build that dam on a river, the water is going to build up behind the dam, and that's going to flood areas that previously weren't flooded before. So people had to move. A number of historical and archaeological sites were destroyed. And also, it can have, when you change the water like that, it can have big environmental effects. So if you want to read this, you can read about, like, different environmental risks of the Three Gorges Dam. But I'm not going to really get into that now because it's a bit off topic. I don't even know if in this article, I don't even think they talk about changes in the weather, landslides and mudslides, but that's not specific to this topic we're talking about the dam possibly collapsing. I don't recall, I looked at this article last night, I didn't see anything about collapsing in there.